afternoon, farm family. It's Kay, and welcome back to Kay's Coffee Clutch. I'm so excited to see you all. And today we are going to be talking about joy. So I started, thinking about what were the aspects that helped us to have joy in our life. And I now have like a 3P framework that I'm going to share with you. And it comes down to purpose, plan, and people. So the first one is a sense of purpose. And we've talked about this a little in the past, but I'm not sure that we really recognize how important a purpose is to our sense of joy. Because let's face it, if we really believe that what we're doing here on earth doesn't make a difference to anybody, not to ourselves, to the people around us, to the environment, to, the greater world, then we do not have joy. How can you have joy if you're sitting there saying, oh, I am just not contributing anything to this world that I'm in? And I don't believe that any of us should be sitting in that place, because I do believe that each one of us was created for a specific purpose, and that purpose can only be fully accomplished by each one of us. Now, I am not ever going to be able to come and tell you what your purpose was meant to be. I can give you lots of strategies to help you figure it out. I have an example of a clustering activity where you start and you draw a circle in the middle, and what's important to me, or what I want to accomplish, something like that. And then you branch out and you write in little circles all the way around it all the things you want to accomplish. So we start out and we want to find what that purpose is for us. I will tell you that sometimes when you are discovering your purpose, you will get opposition from the people around you. And the bigger your purpose is, the stronger that opposition might feel. And often that opposition will come from the people that we most want to support our purpose. Our families of origin, so parents, siblings, grandparents, children sometimes, can be the ones who are like, who are you to think you're going to be able to do X, Y, or Z? And what I'm going to say to that is that you are only limited by your own beliefs about what your value is. Your value and your purpose should not be dictated to you by anybody outside of yourself. It needs to come from inside. And when you spend some time really listening to your heart, you will figure out what that is. And it may be bigger and scarier than you ever thought. And if so, amen to that, sister. Get out there and do it. Learn what you need to do. Take the risks you need to do, because you've got something amazing to share, and the rest of us are on tenterhooks waiting to hear what you've got. Okay, so we've got our purpose. What am I going to do every day that supports that purpose? Now, this plan does not have to be something that you do on a spreadsheet and, all that kind of stuff. But what you do need to do is ask yourself, am I doing something every day that's meeting that purpose? Okay, so one purpose that I have is to be a good mom. All right. And some people might say, well, that's not a very big purpose. I think it's a huge purpose, because I have these two little lives that God has given to me who each have their own purpose. And it's my job to help them to believe that they can fulfill their purpose, to give them the skills that they need to be able to go forward and to do what they were called to do. Not what I think they were called to do, but what they feel called to do. So I want to look at this every day and saying, am I giving them opportunities to learn new things? Am I giving them time to explore on their own, where they're not being directed by somebody else? Am I giving them opportunities to disagree with me? What am I doing to help them to become the people who are going to be able to step into their purpose? And that's part of my plan. So every day, do I spend some time talking to my kids about their hopes and dreams? Do I make sure that they're physically nurtured so that they're healthy, so that they have the physical capacity to do what they're called to do? Am I nurturing them spiritually so that they're connected to themselves, but also to God and to nature and to the people around them? All of these things that are going to make it so that they are able to fulfill their purpose. What is your farm purpose? Are you farming to make more money? Are you farming because you want to provide food for your neighbors? Are you farming because you love to create beautiful things for the people around you? Are you doing something every day that's meeting that goal? Or are you doing all kinds of other things that really aren't doing that? Maybe you are really called to create beauty and you're creating food and you're growing food and you're feeling frustrated. Well, it's not because your purpose is wrong. Your purpose is to create beauty. It's that your plan isn't supporting that purpose. So how do we readjust so that you can actually do the thing that you were called to do in your deepest heart? And this brings us to our third pillar, our third P, people. So I firmly believe that we were created for community. None of us is meant to do anything on our own. We cannot fulfill our purpose completely on our own because we need to be nurtured and we need to be nurturing others. We are going to have times when we get frustrated and maybe we don't have any money, maybe we don't have any food, maybe we don't have skills to do a certain job that we need, and we're going to need each other. Sometimes you just need a shoulder to cry on, and that's really important. So who are those people? How are you investing in them? And do you have the skills to create that community of people? And that group of skills comes up to, do you have healthy boundaries? Do you know how much to give and when? And how much not to give and when? Do you have a good sense of why and how you choose which people you're going to be involved in and which ways? Because let's face it, not every person in our lives is going to be like a bosom buddy. We've got people who are going to serve different roles and for whom we serve different roles. You need those people who are going to be that support. And you need to know how to develop them. What happens when you have a squabble? How do you negotiate different needs for each other? How do you work with people who might be in those outer circles and yet are really important? You know, customers are one of those things. Like, we all have clients that we need to take care of. And some clients are easier than others. Some come in, they love what you do every single day. They think you're fabulous. They never ask to like chisel down the price. Then we have other customers who are not so much. They come in and they're always complaining. Like, the apples are never big enough. They're never sweet enough. They're one of those people who just find lots and lots of things to complain about. And those are the sorts of people that, if we're not careful, they can steal our joy, not only for them, but for customers in general, for the farm business as a whole, for what we're doing. We can feel like we're not, meeting our purpose because this one person is always unhappy, and oh my goodness, if I were a better farmer, I would be able to make this person happy. When really what you might need is some communication skills to realize that some people are just never happy, and it has nothing to do with you. And sometimes a customer, that perfect customer that we talked about, who's always happy, might come in one day and like go aboard you like a house of fire, and you could be like, whoa, what just happened? Why are you angry? And think it's all you, and find out that it had nothing to do with you. Those communication skills and boundaries are really, really important for you. They're also important for the people around you, because when that person who's had a bad day all of a sudden comes in, she's unloading on you, and you want to unload back and like go into panic mode, if you can stay calm and centered and be like, wow, this is not typical, if you can observe and say, I don't usually get this from her, I'll bet something's going on with her and not with me. And then you can follow up with her. Maybe the next time she comes in, you can say, hey, I just wanted to check and make sure that things were okay, that we hadn't done something, because I noticed that you weren't quite yourself last time. Or I notice you're not quite yourself right now. Is there something I can do to support you? Those kinds of things help you to stay in your circle, as they say it, dealing with the things that you're responsible for, providing support that you can provide, but also giving them room to be who they need to be in the moment. And sometimes, that means that they're going to be a little unpleasant. So that is kind of a quick and dirty view of the 3 P's of joy. You want to be able to identify your purpose. You want to plan your days so that they are helping you to fulfill that purpose. And you want to have the skills to develop the group of people around you who, first of all, you serve as part of your purpose, and who serve you as both a way of encouraging you in your purpose and, believe it or not, fulfilling their purpose. Because just as we have a purpose to serve others, there are other people whose purpose it is to serve us. And so by learning those skills, we can work together in a system that enables each one of us to play our own role in a way that only we can, and to make the world honestly a better place. So go find your purpose, make your plan, keep your peeps around you, and I hope I get to be one of them. If you want to chat more about this, drop a message down below or schedule something on penlightfarmers.com. All right, folks, have a great day. It's your time to grow.